5 habits that put you ahead of others. There's a version of you. A version that wakes up before the noise. Before the excuses. Before the world tells you who you are. That version doesn't beg for motivation. It doesn't wait for the right time. It doesn't ask for permission. It moves. But right now, you feel stuck between 2 lives. The life you're living, and the life you know you're capable of. And here's the uncomfortable truth most people will never admit. The gap between those 2 lives is not talent. It's not luck. It's not even opportunity. It's habits. Small, silent, daily decisions. That either build you, or slowly destroy you. Look around you. Most people are distracted. Scrolling. Comparing. Complaining. Waiting for someday. But the 1%? They're doing something different. They're not louder. They're not always smarter. But they are intentional. And that's what separates them. Imagine this. 2 people wake up tomorrow morning. One hits snooze 5 times, checks their phone, scrolls through other people's lives, and starts their day already behind. The other? They sit up immediately. No phone. No noise. Just silence, and a decision. Today, I move forward. No matter what. Now fast forward 1 year. Those 2 lives will look completely different. Not because of one big decision. But because of thousands of small ones. So the real question is. Which one are you becoming? Because whether you realize it or not, you're already choosing. And in this video, I'm going to show you the 5 habits. That quietly, powerfully, and relentlessly put you ahead of 99% of people. Not overnight. Not magically. But inevitably. And if you stay with me till the end, you won't just feel inspired. You'll feel uncomfortable. Because you'll see exactly where you've been holding yourself back. And exactly what you need to change. Before we go further. If you're ready to stop living on autopilot and start becoming the person you were meant to be, make sure you subscribe to the Stoic Path. Because this is where transformation begins. Habit 1, they do what they said they would do. Let me tell you a short story. There was a young man who made promises to himself every night. Tomorrow, I'll wake up early. Tomorrow, I'll work harder. Tomorrow, I'll change. But every morning, he broke those promises. Not because he was lazy. But because he didn't respect his own word. One day, something shifted. Instead of making 10 promises, he made just one. I will wake up at 6 a.m. That morning, his alarm rang. His body begged him to stay in bed. But something deeper spoke louder. If you break this, you're telling yourself you can't be trusted. So he got up. And that was the moment everything changed. Because the 1% understands something most people ignore. Self-trust is built in silence. Not in what you say. But in what you do, especially when it's hard. Every time you follow through, you strengthen your identity. Every time you don't, you weaken it. And over time, that becomes your reality. Habit 2, they protect their focus like their life depends on it. Because in many ways, it does. A woman once had a dream of becoming a writer. She had ideas, passion, even talent. But every time she sat down to write, her phone buzzed. Notifications pulled her away. Just 5 minutes turned into hours. Months passed. Nothing changed. Then one day, she made a radical decision. She turned off her notifications. Deleted distractions. And committed to just 1 hour of deep, uninterrupted work. At first, it felt uncomfortable. Even painful. But slowly, something happened. Her mind sharpened. Her ideas flowed. Her confidence grew. Within a year, she had written what she once thought was impossible. The difference? Focus. The world is designed to steal your attention. Because attention is power. And the 1%? They don't give it away cheaply. They understand that every distraction is a trade. Your future for a moment of comfort. Habit 3, they embrace discomfort instead of running from it. Most people live their lives trying to avoid pain. They avoid hard conversations. Hard work. Hard truths. But the 1%? They walk towards it. There was a man who hated public speaking. The thought alone made his chest tighten. But he knew something important. The life I want exists on the other side of what I fear. So he did something most wouldn't. He signed up to speak. The first time, his voice shook. His hands trembled. He wanted to run. But he didn't. And then he did it again. And again. Each time, a little less fear. A little more strength. Years later, he stood confidently in front of thousands. Not because he was fearless. But because he chose courage repeatedly. Discomfort is not your enemy. It's your doorway. Every time you choose the hard path, you separate yourself from the crowd. Habit 4, they take responsibility for everything. This is where most people fall. Because it's easier to blame. Blame your past. Blame your circumstances. Blame other people. But the 1%? They don't waste time there. A young woman once failed at her business. She lost money. Time. Confidence. She had every reason to blame the market, her team, even luck. But instead, she asked one question. What could I have done differently? That question changed everything. Because it gave her power back. She learned. Adjusted. Grew. And the next time, she succeeded. Not because she was lucky. But because she was responsible. Responsibility is heavy. But so is regret. And one of those weights will follow you forever. Habit 5, they think long-term when everyone else thinks short-term. Most people want quick results. Quick money. Quick success. Quick validation. But the 1%? They play a different game. They plant seeds, knowing they won't grow tomorrow. There was an old man who planted a tree. Someone asked him, "Why plant a tree you'll never sit under?" He smiled and said, "Because someone once planted one for me." That's how the 1% thinks. They work today, for a future most people can't even imagine. They understand that discipline today becomes freedom tomorrow. While others chase comfort. They build legacy. Closing. So now you know. Not secrets. Not shortcuts. Just 5 habits. Simple in theory, but powerful in practice. And here's the truth most people won't accept. You don't need more information. You need more execution. Because the difference between where you are and where you want to be is hidden in what you consistently do. So tonight, when you're alone with your thoughts, ask yourself, am I living like the 1%? Or am I settling like the rest? Because every day you delay, you're choosing your future. And the scariest part? One day, you'll wake up and realize you became exactly what your habits created. So choose carefully. If this message spoke to something deeper inside you, don't ignore it. Subscribe to the Stoic Path. And start walking a different road. Because the 1% isn't born. It's built. One decision. One habit. One day at a time. Stop for a second. Because what I'm about to say might quietly explain why you're still stuck, while others, people no smarter than you, no more talented than you, are moving ahead. Here's the truth most people don't want to hear. You're not behind because life is unfair. You're behind because you're living like the 99%. And the 99%? They wake up without purpose. They chase comfort. They wait for motivation. They quit silently. But the 1%? They don't wait. They don't complain. They don't negotiate with their feelings. They decide. And that decision changes everything. Right now, somewhere in the world, someone is choosing discipline over sleep. Someone is choosing growth over comfort. Someone is becoming the person you keep saying you'll become one day. The scary part? That person could have been you. But here's the good news. It still can be. Today, you're not just watching a video. You're standing at a line. On one side, excuses, comfort, average living. On the other side, discipline, growth, and the life you secretly want. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which side you belong to. So if you're ready to separate yourself from the 99%, if you're ready to build habits that actually move your life forward, then stay with me. And before we go deeper, if you're serious about becoming better, stronger, and more disciplined, hit that subscribe button. Because this channel isn't for everyone. It's for the few, who refuse to stay average. Part 1, the difference no one talks about. Let me tell you a short story. Two friends started the same journey. Same background. Same struggles. Same dreams. At first, they both had energy, motivation, excitement. But after a few weeks, something changed. The first friend said, "I don't feel like it today. I'll start tomorrow. I just need a break." The second friend? He felt the same way. But he showed up anyway. Months passed. One stayed the same. The other transformed. What was the difference? Not talent. Not luck. Habits. And that's where most people lose. Because they think success is about big moments. But it's really about small daily decisions. Habit number 1, do it when you don't feel like it. This is where the 1% separates themselves instantly. The 99% wait for motivation. The 1%? They move without it. Here's something you need to understand. Your feelings are unreliable. If you only act when you feel good, you'll never stay consistent. Discipline begins the moment you say, "I don't feel like it, but I'll do it anyway." That moment? That's where your new identity is built. Habit number 2, protect your focus like your life depends on it. We live in a world designed to distract you. Notifications. Social media. Endless scrolling. Every second you lose focus, someone else is gaining ground. The 1% doesn't just work hard. They work deep. They create silence. They eliminate noise. They guard their attention. Because they understand something powerful. Where your focus goes, your life follows. Habit number 3, learn daily, even when it's boring. Another short story. A young man wanted success. So he watched motivational videos every day. Got inspired, felt powerful. But never actually learned anything new. Another man. He read. He studied. He practiced. No excitement. No hype. Just repetition. Years later. One is still talking about success. The other is living it. The 1% doesn't chase motivation. They chase growth. Habit number 4, get comfortable being uncomfortable. Growth feels awkward. It feels slow. It feels painful. That's why most people quit. But the 1%? They expect discomfort. They walk into it. Because they know. Comfort is the enemy of progress. If your life feels too easy right now, you're probably not growing. Habit number 5, delay gratification. The 99% wants results now. The 1% plays the long game. They say no to short-term pleasure for long-term success. That means working while others relax, saving while others spend, building while others complain. It's not easy, but it's worth it. Habit number 6, take full responsibility. This one is tough, but necessary. The 99% blame everything. Their past, their environment, other people. The 1%, they take responsibility for everything, even things that aren't their fault. Why? Because responsibility gives you power. And without power, you stay stuck. Habit number 7, show up in silence. Not everything needs to be announced. The 99% talk. The 1% work, quietly. They don't post every move. They don't seek validation. They let their results speak. Because real growth happens in silence. Habit number 8, control your mind. Your mind can either build you, or destroy you. The 99% believe every negative thought. I'm not good enough. I can't do this. It's too hard. The 1%. They question those thoughts. They replace them. They train their mind like a muscle. Because they know. Your mind is your strongest weapon, or your biggest and NBSP. Habit number 9, stay consistent, not perfect. Perfection kills progress. The 99% wait for the perfect time. The 1%. They just start. Messy. Imperfect. Uncertain. But consistent. And over time. Consistency beats everything. Habit number 10, become obsessed with improvement. The final habit. And maybe the most important. The 1% never settle. They don't compare themselves to others. They compare themselves to who they were yesterday. Every day, they ask. How can I be better? Not perfect. Just, better. Powerful closing. So now, the question is simple. Which life do you want? The comfortable one, where nothing changes. Or the difficult one, where everything does? Because you can't have both. Right now, you're either building habits. Or breaking your future. There is no middle ground. And remember this. You don't become the 1% overnight. You become it, one decision at a time. One habit at a time. One day at a time. So start today. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Today. And if you made it this far, it means something inside you is ready. Ready to grow. Ready to change. Ready to become more. So don't ignore that feeling. Act on it. And if you're serious about becoming part of the 1%, subscribe to this channel. Because this is where average ends. And transformation begins. Stop right there. I know you've been scrolling. You're tired. But guess what? You're about to hear something that could completely change your life. I'm not talking about some new life hack or motivational quote. I'm talking about habits. The small, daily choices that most people ignore. The routines that you'll see people with extraordinary lives swear by. The ones they don't tell you about. But you. You're different. You're not like the others. You want more. You feel there's more to you. Something inside tells you that your potential is greater than where you are now. But here's the thing. You'll never unlock that potential until you make these habits a part of your life. It's time to stop wishing, stop dreaming, and start doing. And if you're ready to start, the first thing you need to do. Hit that subscribe button. Because this channel, it's for people who are serious about their growth. For people who want to stop settling for okay and step into extraordinary. Are you ready? Let's go. And hashtag 128273, habit number 1, master your morning routine. It's 5:30 a.m. Your alarm blares in your ear. You roll over and check the time. Do you A. Hit snooze and go back to sleep? B. Drag yourself out of bed, groggy and annoyed, and start the day feeling like you've already lost? Or C. Wake up with intention, ready to crush the day before most people have even had their coffee? I'll tell you what separates the successful from the average. It's not the job they have. It's not the money they make. It's how they start their day. Your morning is everything. Let me tell you a quick story. A man wakes up at 4 a.m. every single day. It's dark. It's quiet. But he gets up without hesitation. Why? Because he knows that the first 30 minutes of his day will shape everything that comes after. While others are still in bed, he's already working on his goals. He meditates. He works out. He reads. He plans his day. And by the time the world starts to wake up, he's already ahead of everyone else. The reason most people don't succeed is simple. They wait until they're ready to start. But if you want to be part of the 1%, you don't wait. You start when no one else is. And hashtag 128293, habit number 2, learn to love discipline over motivation. You know what most people do when they don't feel like doing something? They wait for motivation. They say, when I feel inspired, I'll get to work. But here's the truth. Motivation is unpredictable. Some days you'll have it. Other days, you won't. And that's when you lose momentum. But discipline? Discipline doesn't rely on feelings. Discipline is a decision. I'll tell you a story that'll make you see the power of discipline. A man wakes up at 5 a.m. every single day, without fail. Why? Because he promised himself that no matter how tired he feels, he will get up. He will show up. He's not waiting for motivation to strike. He's waiting for the moment to take control. And that decision? That's why he's a success. Because when the feelings don't show up, his habits do. You have to become obsessed with consistency. Discipline over motivation, any day. High voltage habit number 3, embrace failure as a lesson, not a setback. This is one that most people avoid talking about. Failure. The word itself makes us cringe, right? But here's the secret. The 1%. They fail, a lot. They're not afraid of failure. They embrace it. They know that every failure is a stepping stone. It's feedback. It's growth in disguise. Let me share a quick story. Michael Jordan, widely considered the greatest basketball player of all time, missed over 9,000 shots in his career. He was trusted to take game-winning shots, and missed. He was cut from his high school basketball team. But do you know what he said? I've failed over and over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed. So let me ask you this. What's holding you back from failing? What are you afraid of? Because if you want to unlock your potential, you need to fail. Not once. Not twice. But over and over. Fail fast. Learn quickly. And keep moving. Habit number 4, focus on the one thing that matters most. You've heard this before. Focus is the key to success. But what does that really mean? Let me ask you. How many times have you started a project, and then switched halfway through because something new caught your attention? I've been there. You start one thing, but your mind is already jumping to the next. It's easy to get distracted. But here's the truth. Success comes from mastering one thing, and focusing on it for as long as it takes to succeed. Focus on the one thing that matters most. Let me tell you a story of a young woman who wanted to build her dream business. At first, she was all over the place. She wanted to start a podcast, build a website, create an online course, and write a book, all at the same time. But she quickly realized she couldn't do everything. She had to choose one thing. She chose to focus on building her brand. And that's what took off. Sometimes, you need to ignore the distractions, and focus on the one thing that will move you forward. Habit number 5, prioritize mental and physical health. It's easy to forget your health when you're grinding day and night. But the reality is this. You can't pour from an empty cup. If your mental and physical health isn't a priority, everything else will fall apart eventually. It's not enough to just work hard. You need to take care of yourself. Let me share a story about someone who learned this the hard way. A successful entrepreneur who built a multi-million-dollar company. But at one point, his health took a back seat. Late nights. No exercise. Stress building up. One day, he collapsed. Burnout hit him hard. And that's when he realized. Without my health, there's no business. No success. No life. So he made a decision. He would prioritize his health, no matter what. And once he did that, everything changed. Because when you take care of yourself, your business, your career, your relationships, your life, all of it flourishes. Habit number 6, invest in yourself, always. The best investment you can ever make. In yourself. Let me tell you something, no one is going to give you success on a silver platter. But if you invest in your mind, your skills, and your growth, that's where real transformation happens. You can spend your money on clothes. On fancy gadgets. On a nice car. But the one thing that pays you back exponentially is your knowledge. One of the richest men in the world, Warren Buffett, says, the best investment you can make is in yourself. So ask yourself. What's the last thing you did for your growth? What's the last book you read? When was the last time you learned something new? The 1% invest in their minds every single day. And they never stop. Closing remarks. So here we are. The habits. The stories. The decisions. What will you do now? Will you continue to ignore the small changes that could make all the difference? Or will you start building the life you've always wanted, one habit at a time? It all comes down to what you do next. And if you've made it this far, you already know you're ready for this. So go ahead, start implementing these habits today. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Start now. And if you haven't already, subscribe. Because this journey doesn't end here. It's only just begun.